how long, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
Right, ladeth himself with thick clay. Now, can you go into the Blue Letter Bible and look up that word clay?
The word clay there in the Hebrew is ibatiat, which means weight of pledges, heavy debts.
Heavy debts. So if this isn't talking about America, who's it talking about? This is the country that's in some of the worst debt. And if I'm not mistaken, America's in the biggest debt.
Yeah, it says right here in the article, it hit the debt ceiling.
Yep. Yep, more than any other country. And Lord willing, we'll bring up some of the top countries, but it has to be this place.
Back to the article.
Yep.
It says here, the Treasury Department, which runs the government's debt issuance operation, can create about $200 billion of headroom by employing what it calls extraordinary measures that normally could cover about 2 months' worth of borrowing, although continuing uncertainty about tax rates and spending make it hard to determine precisely how long the extraordinary measures will last.
Right, it's an uncertain science, pretty much. All right, and the only thing that's certain about all of these laws that they're trying to pass and all this maneuvering is that eventually it's gonna culminate in the destruction of this place. All right, America's gonna get hit with over 200 million missiles. All right, so all this debt ceiling shit, and trying to fix America, that's all gonna come to naught. All right, we going?
Okay. This is number 2, sequester. The so-called sequester is a series of automatic cuts in federal spending that will reduce the budgets of most agencies and programs by 8% to 10%. The cuts were born of the epic 2011 fight over the debt ceiling. The idea was to create a trigger so onerous and indiscriminate that both parties would have an incentive to devise a smarter way to reduce deficits.
Right, so pretty much it wouldn't just be cutting from social programs, which traditionally Democrats, that's what they go for. That's what they try to push. But also cuts to the military, which is traditionally what Republicans want to beef up. Which that's all bullshit because the Democrats, they're all with that too. But that's the view that they try to project.
It says the bill will postpone many of the January 2nd cuts by 2 months.
Yeah, that's it. It's just postponing it. All right, so you're gonna hear some more shit like this in a month and a half. That's all it is. And by that time, hey, there might be all types of hell broke loose anyways, man.
Yep. Number 3, continuing budget resolution. The federal government works on a fiscal year that starts every October 1st.
Right.
Problem is it has been years since it actually enacted a real budget on time. There's a process for enacting a budget. Congressional committees are supposed to hold hearings. Experts and interested parties testify about proposals. Lawmakers deliberate over the right spending levels for each federal agency and then roll it all into one budget. But Congress rarely ends up following that process. Instead, it usually passes short-term continuing resolutions, which is a fancy way of saying Band-Aid solution.
Yep. And you know what? That's it on that.
Okay.
Get Jeremiah the 51st chapter. Because that goes right into it.
Let me start at 7.
Yep.
This is Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken.
Right. It's been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. All right. Because, like it says in Job 9:24, who set up the so-called white man? The Most High. All right. So he's been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. So we were talking about earlier, giving examples of these different people who joined the military and they denounced their nationality and want to become Americans, or they're in their homelands just acting just like an American. All right, same dress, listening to the same music, worshiping the same false image of Christ, so-called Christ, which is really Caesar Borgia, so on and so forth. All right, keep going.
The nations have drunken over wine,
Yep.
therefore the nations are mad.
Right, and can you look up that word mad for Jeremiah 51? Because when you look up that word mad, it can mean amped up, like kind of angry. Also, it means crazy, bugged out. I want to see what it says for in the exact verse though.
The word there in Hebrew is halal, to shine, to flash forth light, be boastful, boasters, to praise, to make a boast, to act madly, to act like a madman.
Yep, and that's why these countries they're ready to engage in nuclear war with America, man. Even though America is the greatest military threat ever to exist, these countries are they're feeling themselves so hard now that they got their nuclear missiles, and they hate America's philosophy so much that they've been forced to drink. They'll act like madmen and engage in war with the big bad America. At the threat of their country getting destroyed, just to destroy America. That's how much these countries hate America. Is there any more on that?
That's it.
Yeah.
And those Ishmaelites are crazy out there.
Yeah.
They're wild, man.
Yeah.
You got to be a real madman just to have it in your mind to blow yourself up and take a bunch of people out with you in a car bomb or a C4 bomb strapped to your chest. You got to be real mad.
Yep.
Your spirit's got to be real angry.
And it says the boast. It said the boast too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because a lot of these countries they're talking shit, especially the leader over there in Korea. He come bold, you know. Same thing with Ahmadinejad.
That was a definition.
Okay, just keep going.
This is Jeremiah 51:8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed.
Right, and it's looking like a sudden destruction, even though when you read the scriptures, it tell you that in Obadiah, that when Esau goes up into the tries to make his nest amongst the stars, hence will the Most High take him down. All right, so when you supposedly landed on the moon, which you never did, when you started sending up setting up those satellites, ever since then, the late '60s. America's been going down. Just look what happened. We lost Vietnamese. We lost to a bunch of damn gooks. All right, little ass gooks. All right, lost that war. Economy's been going steadily down. I had that Iranian hostage. All right, people just treat Americans like shit, like you're nobodies.
That U.S. ambassador got smoked in Benghazi.
Yep. Everyone's seeing your shame. And this is a relatively short time period, of about 40 years. All right, but to an average American, this shit just coming out of nowhere. All right, oh my God, like this just happened like 3 years ago. You're suddenly falling. All right, keep going.
Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed.
Keep going.
We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed.
Right. What's the balm? Look that up in the blue letter.
The Hebrew word there for balm is tazaraya, which means a kind of balm, a salve, as merchandise, as medicine. Used for healing of wounds. That's it.
Used for healing of wounds.
Yeah.
Get that in Nahum. Yeah. Right, and look, America has a grievous wound, and so all these different packages, you know, the qualitative easing and everything like that, all these different packages that they're trying to put together to stimulate the economy. All right, they want to raise the debt ceiling so they can borrow more money in hopes of stimulating the economy, which that's a dumbass concept in itself. You're gonna get yourself in more debt to help the economy. What sense does that make? But that's the madness of Babylon. All right, this place does mean confusion. All right.
This is Nahum 3:19. There is no healing of thy bruise; thy wound is grievous.
Ooh, thy wound is grievous. All right. Even though you got that balm, all right, to try to heal this place, the wound is grievous. You can't heal it. Keep going.
It says, all that hear the bruit of thee shall clap the hands over thee, for upon whom hath not thy wickedness passed continually?
Right, going back to what we was reading in Habakkuk. All right, it's a proud man neither keepeth at home, gathereth unto himself all nations. All right, so when America's destroyed, and America's being destroyed right now, and none of these other countries, these other nations, they're not pitying America. All right, because Americans didn't give a damn when they was dropping bombs on their villages. All right, so why would those people care when America's catching hell now? You look at something else.
Yeah, I was looking at in Sirach where it says, a man that buildeth his house with another man's money.
Yeah. It's Sirach 21. I think it's 21 and 8. Gathereth himself for the burial. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sirach 21 and 8. Yep.
This is Sirach 21 and 8. He that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial.
Yeah, pretty much your body and yourself. You know, and that's exactly what America's doing. Because all you're doing is just prolonging the inevitable, and then really you're just making it worse. All right, you're just making the fall worse. Because that's just going to put you even more dependent on these other nations, and ultimately dependent on the Rothschilds. All right, because it's all ran by the Rothschilds, anyways. Really, if they wanted to. Theoretically, if they wanted to just, have America bounce back, they could. They're worth $250 to $500 trillion, all right? However, first and foremost, due to their prophecy, this place has to deteriorate, all right? So there can be food riots, gas riots, race riots, cannibalism, mass rapes, mass killings. And tensions increasing so thick to the point that all these countries are eventually just going to shoot missiles over here. All right, because what's going to happen is, which is happening now, America to try to gain more resources, going into other nations to try to acquire their resources to get out of this debt. And that's an old custom of Esau. Also in Maccabees, all right. I believe it was Antiochus as well. He needed some money, so he thought within himself to go into Persia. All right, which is what he's doing right now.
You want to go to Malachi?
Come on.